Recently, my friends and I have been debating what it means to be athletic. This debate often leads to certain friends claiming to be more athletic than others, and this debate can get heated for whatever reason. And yes, athleticism does matter in an interesting way for well being, which is why I'm even bringing it up on this channel in the first place. But before we get to how it matters for well being, let's start with what it even means to be athletic. The full scientific definition of being athletic, as defined by the National Strength and Conditioning Association, or the NSCA, is the ability to repeatedly perform a range of movements with precision and confidence in a variety of environments, which require competent levels of motor skills, strength, power, speed, agility, balance, coordination, and endurance. So, what does this actually look like? We could sort of guess this definition, but hearing this, we want a more concrete answer. In other words, most of us would want to know what sports can you do to be more athletic? And some of the biggest ones that are suggested by the literature as being the most athletic sports are gymnastics, soccer, and basketball. All of these involve high levels of body awareness, strength, flexibility, coordination, agility, and endurance. So these are probably the most quote unquote athletic sports for anyone to play. Track and field, swimming, and martial arts are slightly less athletic, but they still involve intense physical activity along with high levels of endurance and coordination, especially for martial arts and for track and field multi events. So that means they're still relatively athletic sports. But now that we know which sports and, in a way, which exercises and movements get us to be the most athletic, let's talk about why this even matters. So, as it turns out, athleticism and well being are deeply interconnected. And this connection is bidirectional, so one supports the other and vice versa. Athletic activities trigger the body's release of endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and BDNF, and these collectively will reduce pain, improve mood, and support your brain health. And this isn't just a loose connection either. Athletic activities over time reduce your cortisol, which means they make you less stressed, and they even make you feel more energized and sleep more. Like I said earlier, this relationship is bidirectional, so improving your well being can also improve your athleticism too. More surprisingly, athletic activities can be as effective as antidepressants and therapy for treating mild to moderate cases of depression. It also lowers the risk of developing any sort of mental illness, and it prevents relapse of certain mental illnesses. Not to mention, athleticism boosts one's confidence and it makes them mentally tougher since these sports and exercises come with their own set of challenges and difficult skills that one has to overcome. Even better, team sports can instill a sense of belonging, which is why I consistently recommend people to play sports with their friends. It's not really about the sport all the time, it's more about the experience of playing together that matters. Video games can bring people together in similar ways. Of course, I know this. But unless you're sweating and panting while gaming, you're not going to get the same physical benefits you would get if you played a sport with your friends. And so, what do we do with this information now? We know what it means to be athletic, and we know how it benefits the mind in a very significant way. So, how do we implement this to better our lives? Well, the first thing to recognize is that it doesn't matter who's more athletic than the other. So the debate my friends keep having about athleticism that generated this discussion in the first place actually does not matter. What matters is that these activities improve health and well being, which is the more important goal, at least in my opinion. People can argue all they want about who is more athletic, but if athleticism is bringing them all a better mood and a better self esteem, then I think everyone wins. And if excessive athleticism is injuring their bodies and making them depressed or stressed, then I think it's not a win for them. So, what people should do is not focus on which sports necessarily make them the most athletic, but focus on sports that they enjoy that involve some sort of athleticism. Include strength training, cardio, and sports in your workouts. And try to do some amount of sports at least weekly, with friends if you can, and you will notice the benefits of athleticism that I went over in this video. As long as you are not overworking yourself or injuring yourself, like I personally done with basketball, then you are very likely to have a good time and improve your overall well being. So focus less on becoming the most athletic and focus more on how you can use your physical training to improve your well being. After all, what does being athletic even mean if your well being is jeopardized because of it? And as always, stay mindful.